Why don't we just do the show instead of you just trying to listen in on what everybody else
Let's
is
get
doing?
this thing going.
Radio.
We're good now.
Can we go now?
I forgot to unmute your channels. That was my bad.
I wish I had a mute button for Pasha on the daily.
I'll show you.
I'll
I'll show you
that
where
kind
it's
of
at.
bothers me. You're trying to take me off my rant because I come in tonight and Kenny's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to be here next week. I'm like, all right. Let me put that 100 back in my pocket for the what was he wanting to buy? He was wanting to buy something.
I don't know.
I got a sponsor for the month for March, a sponsor to start March out. But anyway, and then he's like a little late coming in, and then all of a sudden I feel rushed. Love you, man. Don't take it personal. You aren't, are you?
I wasn't even listening to you, dude. I'm paying attention.
That's
to
what
stuff.
happens. That's what I'm saying on the daily. I could just get a freaking mute button.
I wasn't even listening to you, man.
Not have to listen to all that rambling.
What? Welcome back to another week of Play Harder Radio at the Break Beach Bar. Jesse, could I get a Corona Light, please? Man.
Does the Corona Light taste any different than
Faja,
a Corona?
James Grant with you. Chad, White Bread, Colquitt.
Woo!
He has a lot of nicknames. White Bread's my nickname.
I like white bread.
This dude is whiter than any white dude you know.
Except for today, I got
It's
some
disgusting.
sun. I got some sun today.
Yeah. Now he's part Native American.
Man, I do
After
get
he
that.
got some sun.
I get that look. A couple more shades, and I'll be scalping people.
That's one of my favorite terms on
Scalping people.
Ray Donovan.
Yes.
No, Ray Donovan. Black Irish. Mickey's son. The Black Irish. It was hilarious.
That's a good show,
John-
man. I only saw the first
John-
season, though. I need to get back into it. And
I'll watch all of them with you again. Nonstop.
man,
Straight through.
I can do it alone. I don't
Ray
think,
Donovan is. I want to be Ray Donovan, but I don't think my conscience could handle
with
it.
juice.
Yeah, it was a good show, though. I don't know why. I got past the first season and then just kind of stopped.
Oh my! Wayne can't watch it. Wayne,
It was one of those shows.
Kenny, time out. Turn somebody. Oh, he controls the mics, doesn't he? Shit.
Ray Donovan was one of those shows, though, that I
I
started
had myself
watching.
muted.
Ray Donovan was one of those shows that I started watching, and it was during the season. And I had to wait every week, and I quit doing that with any series. So I wait until there were 3 or 4 seasons in, and then I just binge watch them.
I'll go back to the binge and 3 or 4 seasons in. I mean, that's too hard to do, but 3 or 4 seasons in. But speaking of binge, I got an idea for next year. But Wayne can't watch Ray Donovan because his blood pressure gets up because he gets so nervous about Ray getting in trouble for this stuff he does.
Wayne does get antsy, man.
When I was living out there at his house, living with him, he would check his blood pressure during the show.
Just to make sure he was all right. I did that with Dexter. Not really.
He's like, well, when I'm drawing blank on names right now. What was Dexter's sister's name? When she shot the lieutenant?
Deborah,
When
yes.
Deborah shot
Dokes. Or no, the
Dexter
Cuban
killed
chick.
Dokes, yeah.
Was
Cuban
anybody
chick.
else weirded out that Dexter and his sister kind of had this weird sexual tension throughout
Yep.
that whole
They were
series?
both sociopaths.
I didn't notice it.
She was hideous too. They're married in real life.
Right, yeah, but maybe that's why. But it seemed to me there was a weird sexual tension between.
Are they
them
married
the
in
whole
real
time.
life,
Yeah.
or are they
Yeah, they're married in real life.
separated and still did the show?
No, they're married.
They're good to go?
Yeah.
No, they were definitely going through something though when that show was filming. I remember reading about.
Yeah.
When you
I thought
play
there
a
was-
serial killer, it's not fun to probably date that guy. When you're rehearsing your lines.
Well, yeah, because he's got to be in the,
that. Before that,
in
he
character.
was the gay Undertaker from that show, HBO show,
Yep.
6 Feet Under.
6 feet under.
You know what? We have covered 4 or 5 shows in the last 2 minutes now.
Yeah, man.
Ray Donovan, Dexter,
we're like
6 feet under.
We're like the new ETV.
Oh, I was thinking about another one.
I can't understand when you're yelling. I have no idea what you're saying. I just
Who was?
Daryl was the black Irish guy.
Right, Daryl.
Yes.
What's up, Ray? Daryl, that's funny.
I
Did you see the his brother? I have 0 names tonight.
Every time you say Ray, I think someone's going to follow up with Egon. I don't know why.
Ray means something else to us.
Yeah. Chad was worried about something else. Ray's older brother. the boxer that runs the gym. You see, he had that implant to take his Parkinson's away, stopped his shaking.
Was that in the show?
Ooh, yeah. Is that a spoiler?
Yeah, let's not do any more of that.
There's so much going on in that show that ain't gonna spoil nothing for you. Hey, speaking of we did. My son has been trying to get me to watch Altered Carbon. He goes, "Oh my God, it's the best TV show I've ever seen."
It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it.
Brown. You started watching Ozark again.
Yeah, man, that's an awesome series, and I remember watching it, and I would watch it late at night, and I would always fall asleep like halfway through some episodes. So I'm trying to go back and make sure my memory's clean before the second season comes out.
Jason.
Yeah, Bateman.
Oh,
Bateman.
okay, yeah. That is a good show, actually.
That's a great show. He's awesome in that show. The scam he comes up with for the Ozarks when he's about to get his head blown off.
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's a cool show. It's very creative. Whoever wrote it.
Who's watched Ozark?
There we go.
I think that guy already had
I don't
his
think
hand
he's
up.
raising his hand
I think
about.
it was already up.
Hey,
Yeah,
he's
he's-
trying to say those are my chicken wings.
Speaking of loyalty, not that I brought up loyalty, but Joe Daddy is front and center again.
Yeah, I love it. Kim
Where's
was-
the rest of the Sandbar crew?
They're always a little bit late.
Is White
man.
Rob showing tonight?
That reminds me of that movie, That Thing You Do. Hey, that's our fan.
That's our fan. Tom Hanks movie, right?
A great movie, man.
That Thing You Do.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, is that the band?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the manager.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. From
Yep.
like Playtone Records.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Egos of the Stars.
There he goes,
rock and
off
roll-
to his room to write that next hit song, Alone in My Principles.
Kenny Stanger stand-up routine Saturday night at the Break Beach.
I watched a good movie this week that was called
10 o'clock and 11
Three
12
Billboards. It was awesome.
Ooh, yeah, Mississippi movie.
Yeah.
You know what? I have listening to reviews and hearing that it's a top 5 Marvel movie in the Marvel universe. Yeah, I don't know that I can go. It's racist. It's derogatory to the United States, I hear.
It's weird though that Africans don't like Americans, and
Well,
so
the
for it to be
president of this country called them a shit country, so.
yes. Well, he didn't. Yes.
And so here's my question about that. What did he say that wasn't true?
Well, yeah, and Joe's right. In his defense, he didn't say it about the country. He just said it about the whole continent.
Basically, third world countries altogether, but there's some good ones. I'm going to go to Mexico pretty soon.
That's
June.
not a third world country.
Kind of is.
It's a shithole, though.
Dude,
The
this
right
country
parts.
has sections that are third world as shit.
Yes.
Dearborn, Michigan.
Warrington.
Oh.
I don't think
Let's
there's
see,
anything
East
we
St.
can bring
Louis,
up
South
that doesn't
Chicago.
reinforce Faja's candidacy for the Nazi Party.
I think that's totally unfair and uncalled for because that is not even true. That is not even true. I will not take guns away.
Which is, I mean, that he's kind of got a point there.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, right? Thank you.
That was good
We
shit.
are-
man.
hey,
That
we
was
are-
a hell of a
Hey, but
comeback.
while we're on politics, I thought a good thing that Trump came up with a couple weeks ago that I thought was good. Love him or hate him. I think if you argue this logically and from an economic standpoint, you can't say it's a bad idea to replace welfare or to replace food stamps with boxed foods and stuff.
Yeah.
Non-perishable items.
I would do that or MREs. I mean, because like the MRE thing, our soldiers have to deal with it, and it's. I mean,
You know what? MRE is okay, but like dried beans and potatoes, and I just think and you know what? Because there's too much there's too many hungry kids, man.
You know the funny thing, my brother was a Marine. Any field exercise they ever went on, they were forced to eat MREs. like 8 years total with his boots in the sand. They never ate a single one.
Really?
Yeah, they
What'd they
ate
eat?
good every night, man. They,
What'd they eat?
whatever was in the chow hall, and it was never bad.
Yeah, I think the MREs are mostly for like missions. Yeah, Joe Daddy, how many MREs did you eat? Very many? Quite a few? He's ate more.
More MREs when I was out than when I was in.
Yeah,
I know
more.
people that look forward to hurricanes.
What'd you eat?
just
Little
for
kids
those
from
things.
villages? Jeez, that's sick. I don't know where you come up with these ideas, Joe. Oh my God, I got to get off that messenger chain.
It's brutal, man.
Joe population control
ding, ding,
got-
ding. Oh,
We're on a messenger chain with like 6 other dudes, and
That sounds about par for the
five
course.
sickos in me.
yeah, and throughout the day, you just hear your phone go ding, 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 ding.
Everybody calls it that, right, Joe? That'd be perfect. Five sickos in me.
You're watching Five Sickos and Me right here on the PPK Multiverse Network. It doesn't get sicker than this.
I'm going to have Kenny record a couple of our marketing campaigns for us.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 15-second bits.
So
I think he could handle it.
some of our, useless trivia. I'll just go ahead and start on some. Obviously, it's Black History Month, which I think is ironic because it's also Chocolate Lovers Month.
Dude, this show is taking a
I
very
don't-
unpositive turn.
That's not even bad. And then in 1896,
Those are both facts.
yeah, they're facts. You can't really. It's pop culture. It's not like
That is,
It's fact.
oh my goodness. That is classic. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Popcorn was introduced in 1620 by an Indian
Who invented the flush toilet?
named Quataquina.
Quataquina.
That
Yeah,
doesn't sound like an Indian name.
it doesn't either.
Okay.
Pocahontas, though.
Listen to who's chiming in now.
Oh, Native American. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, not dot Indian. Just
Dot or
this,
feather.
this is feather. Who?
All right, somebody crack a white, derogatory white comment.
Well, I don't really have any, but I would like to tell Quataquina that I appreciate the popcorn and all, but that stuff that gets in the little shells that get in your teeth, no matter how many times you brush your teeth, drive
The
me
skin of the shells?
the kernel thing.
The
Yeah.
skernel, the shell, the actual shell, the
Yeah.
kernel shell.
You can sit there and eat popcorn at a movie, and by the time it comes out on DVD, you find one of the damn things in your
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's all moldy and gross.
That's
and
one of those foods that you could not want it. You could be totally stuffed. If it's sitting in front of you, you're going to eat it till
Exactly.
it's gone.
Exactly.
I love white cheddar popcorn.
I don't at
Oh,
all.
who doesn't?
I can't
Except
stand
for,
it.
well, you wear a fanny pack, so you don't count.
Right, and how are you part of the mainstream? You're not.
I just don't like white cheddar popcorn, especially the stuff that comes in the bag that's already like potato chips where it's already popped.
Yeah, I like
into
it.
Oh, that's my
I like it.
favorite.
It tastes like rubber.
That black bag with the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the corn cob on it.
right, with the corn cob on it. No, that's the grocery store. That was from the grocery store.
No, that's what he was talking about,
With
right?
the corn cob on. Yes.
All right, so something else that happened today, and it'll kind of correlate with what we're going to talk about later as far as the Olympics go, but in 1980, the Miracle on Ice happened.
Woo!
It was an awesome feat for one.
Jim Craig.
Yeah, the
Mike Ruzioni.
what was the coach's name?
Herb Brooks.
Yes, R.I.P. But anyways, Russia had dominated.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Russia had dominated hockey forever, and they were using pros, and we were using amateurs, and so that made it kind of like a special deal. And that movie, if you haven't seen The Miracle, it's awesome, man. It's a fantastic movie. It was well done. Even if you don't know a lot about hockey, it's fantastic.
I can't remember John's last name. The guy's name is John, friend of mine in Colorado. Big cat, big dude from like Minnesota. Had played for Herb Brooks in minor league hockey before. And, so he was a minor league hockey veteran.
Yeah.
But the first time I played golf with him, we hit a ball, and one of us hit a ball into the up into the group in front of us, and they got an attitude about it and started walking back towards us. He threw his club down and was
Ready.
basically sprinting to go, what?
Did he take the
to
gloves
throw
off and just-
down. Threw his gloves off like this. It was hilarious. I mean,
I've only been in one moment where I hit into somebody and it almost became an altercation. It was funny who it was with. It was with Mike Ashby, who got voted nicest bartender for like 20 years.
You almost got in an altercation with Mike?
No, me and Mike were the same group, and I hit into these guys by accident, and the dude started coming, and I don't know. Sometimes I get a little over the top with my mouth to get a little loud, and the guy just stopped and turned around. So
people like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hate people like that. People that just start mouthing off before they think.
I know. It wasn't me. He's the one started mouthing. He was coming towards me. I just fixed it real quick. But anywho.
Writing checks your fist can't cash.
I bet he was extremely threatened by that fanny pack.
I didn't have it on back then.
I bet he's got a third fist in that fanny pack.
I did have my name on my golf bag, though.
Dick?
Like anybody should that shoots 85 on the regular.
You know what, man? Don't be so hard on yourself. You beat Bubba Watson in a tournament once.
No, I didn't.
No, you definitely did.
So in 1896, the Tootsie Roll was invented.
Do you only see those at Halloween or something?
I don't know. I've never liked the Tootsie Roll.
I've never liked them either.
It was better.
I like them.
It was better when the 69 Boys came out and redid it in 93.
When were they invented?
1896.
Candy, sweet as gold.
So in this month or this day, is that what you're saying?
Yes, on this day.
During Chocolate Lovers Month.
Yes, in Black History Month.
Jeez.
That's not bad.
Don't worry, Ron. Nobody knows you're here. Oh, they do now.
These are all facts.
Ron's supporting the show. Kids at Tate are going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, and so one more thing before we get to, any kind of sports. Milli Vanilli on this day won a Grammy. If you don't remember Milli Vanilli, they were the ones that basically lip sync. They look like the Williams sisters that play tennis, only they sing.
They look like Predator before Predator.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't really sing. They actually.
It was the greatest pulling the wool over somebody's eyes in the history of mankind.
Yeah, they ended up having to give the Grammy back, and the one guy committed suicide, which is kind of sad. But dude,
he did?
Oh yeah.
The saddest thing about the whole story was that they actually ended up releasing an album with their own voice, and they could actually sing.
Yeah,
they were actually good.
They were actually pretty good, but the ship had sailed.
They'd blown their wad by that point.
Yeah, they had Blame It on the Rain and Don't Lose My Number or something. I can't remember, but they both were number one.
Don't Lose My Number?
No, not that one.
It's the only one Not that one.
Have you ever heard yourself sing?
Kinda. We're saving that.
And just so guys remember, just so everybody out there watching remembers, the hotlines are open, 850-907. I almost forgot the freaking number, 8676. 850-907-8676.
907-8676.
Going up on the main stage, we got Melissa. Ooh, that was her real name.
Oops. That secret's out.
Oh, Jasmine.
So what do we got for the lineup tonight?
Well, we're just going to BS for another half hour
there's
after this break.
There's not a whole lot of sports stuff going on. We do have the Winter Olympics, which
Luke wants to hear Blame It on the Brain for the break.
Yeah,
during the break. You know what? Facebook won't pick up on that one.
I bet they will.
Well, it doesn't matter. I don't have it.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of sports stuff going on. So we're going to talk about a little bit NASCAR. We're going to talk some maybe Winter Olympics.
You know, we can talk about this a little bit. Speaking of NASCAR, we can talk about this a little bit less now. Last Wednesday, when we were doing some prep and stuff for the show, I noticed that Austin Dillon was
4,400
plus 4,400. And I'm like, man, he's one of the up-and-comers, young. Could be a breakthrough season.
Which, if you're not a gambler, that means you bet $100 and you win $4,400.
And so, I wanted to put in. I got a friend in Vegas that laid some bets for me, and so I come in, and I turned two other people onto it as well, and I'll be damned if he didn't win that race. And the best thing about it is,
I was happy for you.
How many laps did he lead? In the race.
I didn't watch it.
How many laps in the race did he lead? I don't know. Best thing is? One lap he led. I only bet $10, but
Yeah.
And it was 40-1 when it went off, so $400.
Good for you.
I busted the Mirage for $400.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I didn't really get to watch any of that race. This weekend was the first weekend that
I'm
the
pigeonholing that stuff.
the bar was back open, so I didn't get to watch anything.
Yeah, you got the bar open last week.
Yeah, it was
we
funny.
came up there on Sunday after the race, and it was like, whoa.
I didn't really plan on opening at all, but Tom had at Captain Funds, they were doing the Bloody Mary Fest, and my business is connected with theirs. And so once we started seeing these ticket sales for the Bloody Mary Fest, and they had already doubled the pre-sales for last year, I thought it was a no-brainer to get open. And, man, it was just me. I didn't have anybody else. I didn't have a bar back there.
You were on point.
Yeah, I got my.
You were a little on edge, too, I think.
Yeah, man, I'm 40 years old. I don't need to be in that environment. Get my ass kicked.
I don't think it's going to work. I think it was just a freak weekend.
Yeah, it was. I've got some pretty crazy video. I really did get to the point. I don't know what the load oc is up there, but there was a point where I felt almost unsafe.
I don't understand your vibe though. I hear what you're saying, but
There was just a lot of freaking people up there. People were
Cool.
having to get on people's shoulders to get stuff from me. That's how popular my bar was Sunday.
that's I know. Like I said, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. I went to do. And
Are you going to be open this weekend?
Yes, I don't know the exact dates. I know I'll be open Sunday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be open Friday or Saturday yet.
How was President's Day? It was busy out here.
It was awesome, man. I went to go do inventory.
How was the bar?
It was great. My bar?
Yeah.
It was closed.
Oh,
I didn't
it was
open.
busy.
I should have opened on Monday, but I didn't. I went up there to go do inventory. I couldn't have opened anyways because I had no liquor, no beer left. That's how busy we were, Sunday. It was hard. It's hard to prep. You always have a par that you order for each week,
Right.
and there was no way for me to even judge because I didn't open until Cinco de Mayo last year, so there was no way for me to judge how good the week would be. So, anyways, Monday I go up to do inventory, and I was telling Joe Daddy, and I've told you, I had 8 beers left in the whole
Yeah.
place, and it wasn't even like one particular brand I had 8. I just had 8 total.
That's
And
awesome.
I really had almost. It was cool how patient people were because I ran out of a lot of stuff, and people didn't really give a shit, man. I guess the vibe was good, the weather was good,
It was freaking.
and yeah. So
It
normally,
was beyond good.
normally if you're out of something, people will I'm not one of those type of people, but they will leave your place and just go to the next place because whatever. But I didn't really have that problem on Sunday, man. People were very patient and cool, and it was fun.
Yeah, you couldn't have had better weather. It was
No, it was
perfect.
awesome.
It was a perfect day for it. After Brad's birthday, did he come down there?
No, I think he stayed here.
Oh yeah,
but-
he stayed here because of the bet,
yeah.
because of the pool, because of the ghosting pool.
So I'm guessing neither one of you did very well on that, or
We did not.
I didn't bet on it. I didn't really know.
I took Austin Dillon though at 40-1.
Could you tell our audience what the pool was so they'll understand?
Oh, so Dr. Brad's birthday was last Saturday, and his Sunday is what I said, and it coincided with the Daytona 500. And we barely got the thing going at about 1:30, and there was a pool going around in 15-minute increments as to when Brad would pass out and go home. Because he's known for just ghosting and just blacking out and disappearing.
You know, my favorite Brad story is I want to say it's 4 birthdays ago. He lives at a condo tower right behind us. It's awesome.
Beach Club.
Yeah, the beach club. So you have to use a card to get in. It's not like our place to use a key. You use a card. And so we have a bunch of people, help get him safely home and walk him up. He lives on, the 11th floor?
1704.
Yeah.
He's in 1704.
But anyways, watching him, there's a video somewhere, and I don't know who has it, and I would never put it up here, but he's trying to open his door with a $20 bill, like trying to put it in like it's a money slot.
Okay, and recently there was another story. So he was up there trying to get into his place, so he couldn't get in there, and he ends up calling the property manager. He's like, "Man, just come up here and let me into my place. My key's not working." So the property manager goes up there and he says, "Dude, I'm here. Where are you at?" So Brad looks around. He goes, "Oh man, I'm on the 12th floor, not on the 17th."
Awesome.
And he is just also finishing up recovering from a broken ankle that he suffered on August 26th.
From a bike ride.
which I happen to know. There's another thing to talk about, which happened while we were in Vegas for the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
Go ahead.
And McGregor says he's definitely going to fight again in the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
That came out today.
What's the odds that he and Floyd fight, man? Because it's still the talk, and Floyd's starting to talk a little bit more. Dana says that's something that he wants.
I can't imagine them an MMA fight.
It would be way worse a fight than.
But I've got a couple other, and I'm not the MMA guy that you are, fan or knowledge of MMA like you do. But I when I say way worse, when you say way worse, that fight wasn't a Mayweather wasn't fighting that whole fight.
Yeah,
he was playing that fight.
And I want to know
if with those gloves, if that first charge and that first takedown isn't just a poof and into the I mean
That's a technical term,
right?
No, Conor would keep too much separation. Conor would keep too much separation and use his legs. It'd be done very quick.
You think?
Oh, absolutely. Conor was good at, even in that fight, Conor was good at keeping distance when he needed to.
So you don't think he'd go to there would be no grappling?
Oh, it would be grappling. He would kick his right leg out. It would probably take 30 seconds for him to kick his right leg out, and then he's on the ground. He's got it from the back. Not a question.
Well, I think there is a question. He's one of the best pound for pounds of all time, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's a whole different game.
Have you ever seen that guy's legs? He'll snap it off right at the shin.
Exactly.
Oh, Mayweather's legs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those your legs, or are you riding a chicken?
Hey.
Nice getaway sticks.
It'll look like Anderson's leg.
Speaking
Remember when he
of
broke it when he was leg kicking that guy.
Speaking of the UFC, before we go to break, I announced last week that Brandon Davis on 10 days' notice took a fight in Austin for UFC. It was on FS1, man, and he congratulations, Brandon. He got fight of the night, knockout of the night. So, or not knockout of the night. I'm sorry, he got fight of the night.
Little bonus money.
Yeah, he ended up cleaning up a little bit, man. So that's two of my homies from Mississippi that have gotten fight of the night bonuses, man. That's cool as shit. Out of a tiny, D'Iberville is not that big of a town for. You've got Alan Belcher, Chase Sherman, Brandon Davis, and Jason Knight.
What's Chase Sherman up to?
He's training. He's waiting on a fight call this week, but he's working with a strength and conditioning coach out of Mobile to work on his explosiveness and to put a little bit more weight on. You know, Chase is kind of a small heavyweight. Your standard heavyweight has a cut to get to 265, where Chase is walking around at 240, 245. So he needs to get a little bit of weight on, and I think that's what he's
for the heavyweight.
Yeah.
What's Mark Hunt go?
Mark Hunt probably walks around at 300 pounds, and he cuts to 265.
Really?
Yeah. Brock Lesnar, same thing.
That's that big Samoan.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
Brock's just corn-fed, man.
Yes, Brock was big before steroids, and after steroids, he just got real big. But like there's a lot of guys like you look at Forrest Griffin that fought at 185 and 205. People don't realize that guy walks around at 260, 270 sometimes.
No.
Oh yeah, massive.
Dude.
Are you
He's
kidding me?
Big dude.
Those guys wrap themselves in bubble wrap and all kinds of stuff to get rid of that weight.
I
man.
believe all that, but 80 pounds?
Yeah. That's. I mean, you're talking a 6-7 month cut for some of these fights. It's not like Rousey having to cut 20 pounds or 30 pounds.
A big thing that nobody ever talks about, specifically in that sport, is that people die all the time trying to cut weight. Man.
Yep.
It's not talked about, but I mean that's how serious it is.
Or
People,
not die, but they have to. There's
people-
organ failure and all that.
Yeah, but I mean they die, but yeah, I mean not all. You know, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a lot more than they talk about. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, everybody gives a lot of these guys shit for not being able to make weight sometimes, but you also don't understand is if you're not in that game, man, it's not easy to do. But they're also professional athletes, so you kind of know what you're getting into. But yeah, those cuts are crazy. But Chase is so young, man. He's 27 years old now, and so
That's a young
he's got
heavyweight.
plenty time to
Especially a heavyweight.
He's got plenty time to add about 4 or 5 pounds a year to when he's in his prime at 32, 33 years old. He's fine.
What's Platinum up to?
Mike Platinum Perry, he fought about 3 months ago. I haven't seen anything for him up and coming or Alex Nicholson, but Alex has won his last 2 fights, so hopefully we get some more of our.
What did Mike do last fight?
He lost via decision, so he's still. I mean, he's another one, man. His even though he's fought 6 times in UFC, his UFC career is fairly young, and he's still successful. His mouth is getting him. Everybody hates the guys that talk all the shit and this stuff, but it does work in the UFC to help sell fights. And Mike's one of the best. Chase is really good at it. Brandon Davis, if you watch his fights, me and my dad conversed during his first one because it was so lackluster, but he was running his mouth in it. And I'm not one of those that likes it, but I like it because it was my buddy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Brandon did a lot of talking in his last fight, but he actually backed it up. So
McGregor's good at it.
McGregor's awesome at it. Nate Diaz.
I don't like it either, but
another one that nobody likes is Nate and Nick Diaz. Man, those guys just ran their mouths during their fights, and a lot of times they didn't work out for them. But guess what? We all watched it, and we continue to watch them and follow those guys.
When Nate went up against Connor, though, I mean, Connor kind of made him look like an idiot. He didn't even know how to respond.
Oh yeah, dude. Connor's really good off the hip with that stuff. Where it seems like some of the Diaz guys, and unless they're in the fight in the moment, they prep for it, and when you get them off their game. Yeah, Connor's really good with his mouth.
They're better more in controlled situations, sort of like a wrestling hype interview with Mean Gene or something.
Yeah, I love watching the panels when you have all the UFC fighters with a fight coming up, or they're talking. They have all the champions on these panels, and Connor just starts popping off at everybody, and nobody can really come back on him. And that's where I think that's why he's worth what he's worth, and they're worth what they're worth.
Yeah, I mean, he starts talking smack to people he's not even going to be fighting.
100%. And what's great, though, is the people in those panels that talk all that mess, and then he has fought him twice, and it's been embarrassing. Eddie Alvarez is one of them, and I can't remember the other one right off the top, but he made them eat their words during those panels, and so I like that stuff.
UFC keeping their head above water?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I don't think so. We always talk about there's just not enough moxie in it anymore. And once Vince McMahon kind of got out of it, you just don't see them building these superstars like they did. But on the good end of UFC, I think the fighters are better across the board. I don't think you have these so-called paper champions like a Ronda Rousey. I think you have better fighters, but they're just not promoting them correctly. And it's kind of hard to promote a fighter when you look at Stipe. He's the only heavyweight to ever defend that title 3 times. So how do you build this?
That's crazy.
Yeah, how do you build these grand competitors when they could possibly lose every other match? So,
well, that's what the women's division is
absolutely.
Into. Rousey was the Godzilla.
Over the last few weeks, we've been talking about NASCAR, how there's just not the big drivers like there used to be, and it's the same. There's parity between the UFC and NASCAR, really, if you think about it, because there used to be a bunch of fighters in that sport that were famous that really weren't that great.
Yep.
And that's how NASCAR used to be, right? It was a bunch of drivers that, they were good, they were known, but they had huge followings, and they really weren't big money earners.
I think I fully agree with you, but reading after this Daytona 500, man, there was a lot of paint traded, and then there was a lot of words, especially with Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin at the end. So I think maybe they're trying to get a little bit of that going early in the season to get some of these rivalries up.
Remember that when we go into our segment about that, because I'd like to talk about that. Bubba Wallace was finished second.
Yeah,
and pretty crazy, pretty emotional moment.
Mobile,
Alabama. That's right. Well, listen, Kenny, let's take a little break, pause for the cause, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Brought to you by Tel Staffing and HR for your payroll, workers' comp, human resources, benefits, and staffing. Also by 5025, gratitude, giving, health, wealth, and the fountain of youth. Family Herder Radio is sponsored by Rocky's Termite and Pest Control, a family tradition since 1962. Rocky's Termite and Pest Control is family owned and operated and serves Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa counties. Give them a call today, 850-380-5408. And we're back. You're watching Play Harder Radio right here on the Pippi K Multiverse Network.
All right, welcome back. Chad,
What's up?
I'm getting in the game.
Cheers.
Getting in the game. Nate was just telling me a sweet story we're going to cover when we get to our segment. Pretty cool story that involves the old number 3. The old number 3 and the new number 3.
You know, Drew Barrymore was born today in 1975.
What's she now?
Yeah.
Isn't she an angel?
Yeah, I liked her little lisp.
Oh yeah, dude, that was the sexiest part about her, I thought.
Mildly strokish.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, she was in some awesome movies. Firestarter, E.T.
Ooh, Firestarter was awesome.
Yeah, kind of took a hiatus. I guess she got on a bunch of drugs and then came back and had kind of a blow-up later career.
I.e. enjoyed her teenage years.
Yeah, 50 First Dates was good.
Charlie's Angels.
Horrible movie. That was a horrible movie.
Watched it 6 times.
I've never seen it, but then there was that movie where she worked at Tasty Freeze, right?
I don't know that movie either.
How many people know what a Tasty Freeze is?
We have one in Crestview.
We had a Tasty
Crestview,
Freeze in
Milton.
Buchanan.
It doesn't have to be called Tasty Freeze. You can look at the design of the building and call it a freaking Tasty Freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who knows what a Tasty Freeze is? Actually, what a Tasty Freeze is.
Yeah, we have one in Milton.
Okay, you know. Everybody else doesn't.
Luke eats there all the time.
Ron knows. Ron knows everything, though. Roll Tide. There was some basketball Sunday right before the NASCAR game.
Was that the All-Star game?
Nope. It was a college game, college basketball game, right before the Great American Race.
Who was it?
It was a Big Ten game, college. Hi, Steph. Love you. Mean it.
So who was it? Who did it involve?
You know what? I can only talk about it, Michigan and Ohio State, and that game in this manner and laugh about it because she owns me for the last 15 years in football. So it has to all be tongue in cheek and, you know, because she's my favorite. And
So
then
is that who
Nate.
played? Because
Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah. Who won?
Michigan won. But I didn't bring it up to talk about Ohio State winning.
Are either one of those teams any good?
They're 16 and 17 right now in the poll, both 22 and 7. I mean, they don't have the numbers of, say, Texas Tech.
Or Auburn?
Rough night for Texas Tech last night.
Yeah. I didn't really watch it.
You know what?
Y'all were on that feed, that text feed, and I just didn't get on it. I didn't watch the game. I was at a cookout, and then I came home and watched Ozark, but I never really got in touch with the game. I kind of quit watching them because they pissed me off. Like, they're doing good this year. They're doing way better than they've done.
Ever?
No, not ever, that I can remember. And
Top 5-ish?
Yeah.
Top number 6?
But
they've been better than that?
no, that's what I'm saying. So,
I'm saying ever.
like, when the Gators or whatever, they start doing good or Dallas starts doing good, I just can't watch them. I feel like I jinx them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, if they play Michigan in the tournament, watch it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Especially I'll watch that with you. It'll be awesome.
My friend in Vegas put a little wager on that. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about the NCAA after
You brought it
NASCAR.
up. You brought it up.
Why did I bring it up?
I'm not sure.
Oh, because Steph's here is why I brought it up. She brings out all the best in me. The United States had a nice little medal run to make their numbers respectable.
I haven't watched any. To be honest, man, it was crazy. I used to love the Olympics, especially the Winter Olympics, and I just have not watched shit this year.
I haven't watched
I
any.
watched Shaun White's little deal. It was awesome when he won the half pipe gold. But outside of that, I just haven't paid too much attention to it. I don't know why.
Michaela Schifrin took the silver in the combined. She won the
Combined
Super
what?
GS, the downhill and slalom. So it's each end of the skiing spectrum.
They should.
Lindsey Vonn had a 2-second lead on Michaela going into the slalom and did not medal and did not finish. It doesn't appear that
makes me happy.
It does not appear that she's going to have to turn down an invitation to the White House.
Yes. Not sure that she would have gotten one.
Well, she was mouthing off about it
Oh, I know.
before the Olympics. But Michaela Schifrin, a little bit disappointing. We thought maybe possibly 4 golds for her, but actually the gold medal that capped off this kind of 8-medal run over the last couple of days was Team USA Hockey, the women.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And so
We
they
were-
avenged the loss 4 years ago to Canada.
Yeah, you and I were watching the USA versus Switzerland or Sweden or something, and it's women's hockey, and it was just on, and he and I are sitting in a bar, and there's nothing else to watch, so we're watching it, and we both made the comment that it looked like actual hockey because when we first started playing women's hockey, it was awful.
98.
Yes.
I used to say the worst sport in existence, women's ice hockey.
It was pretty bad.
They look good.
Yeah, this year
It looks like hockey.
looks like hockey.
What's that, Steph?
Before, it looked like a bunch of blind Jedis.
I think the men could beat them.
Yeah, before it looked like a bunch of kids with
It looked like Special Olympics hockey.
yes. Kind of did. It was not. It wasn't fun to watch. But last night's was it last night or 2 nights ago?
Last night.
Yeah, last night, man. The shootout was badass, man. And if you didn't catch it, you need
Jocelyn Lamoureux scored the winning goal.
to. Yeah, you need to
shootout.
YouTube that winning goal because it was nuts.
It was a great deke. Her twin sister plays on the team.
Yeah, what I thought was pretty shitty, though, during the medal ceremony, they're handing the Canada the silver medals, man, and you're representing your country, so maybe you didn't do the best or whatever, but the way that the Canadian hockey players took it, and I get that you lost, and
Were they?
it was brutal.
What was the last one? Was that the Americans the last time did that?
Yeah. And one girl took her medal. Actually, the guy put it on, and then she took it off, and I'm like,
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, woman.
well,
I got to be. I hate to be gender specific, but
hey, Tom,
Man,
we saw your kid today at Chick-fil-A.
looks nothing like you. Looks like he's white. A white ginger. He's super nice.
Yeah. Where did
He seems intelligent too. I mean, this kid has nothing in resemblance of or anything to do with you. And you know what? I'm like Whistle, and he goes, "I don't do that."
God, we have a really tight group of friends, tight knit. It was cool though. He said he had been at Chick-fil-A for 3 years now. Then he's going to go work for PPD, which is awesome, man. Pensacola Police Department. So proud of that kid.
Thank you. I wondered what you meant.
Well,
Just to correct, I'm back on the hockey. Jocelyn
Lamoureux.
Lamoureux did score in overtime, but her twin sister Monique scored in regulation. So the twins scored during the game. It was pretty cool. 3-2 win. They were down 2-1 going into the third period too.
Yeah.
So it was pretty gutsy. I take it you watched it, Steph. Thank you for your help on my insurance question yesterday. Appreciate it. You know Wayne? My friend Wayne that hangs out with us? You would if you see it, probably. Real nice, unassuming.
Hey,
His son totaled his Escalade when we were out of town in New Orleans a couple months ago.
Like a boss.
I need to tell you this before we get the guys on. You sent me a text. Send it to me in a Facebook message. That'd be so much easier to get on the show.
All right, I'd like to do that. I'll do it.
Sounds good.
God,
Super intense.
Like I told Luke, I'm here for everybody else. What do you guys all want? That's the new me. Happy, accommodating.
These what?
Invaluable considering me
Yeah.
and Chad, right?
Yeah.
This is fake.
Yeah,
This is fake.
yeah.
This is
it's
not real.
See how good it feels. Sometimes you got to fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
So
I don't like being
you
touched.
should see how tense you are.
Hate being touched.
Don't touch me. I had a friend. He's dead now. Train. How many times do I talk about the train? And my friend from Colorado said he wouldn't live till he was 50. Lived till he was 56. But I always got a story about him. I always preface it with he's dead now. But anyway, he would come up and start rubbing my shoulders. He's like 6'6". When he'd come up and start rubbing, I'm like,
I hate being touched, man. And like Joe Daddy knows that I hate being touched, and he always grabs me just to make me uncomfortable. Ugh.
Kim Kent's that way. She doesn't like to be poked, tickled.
I don't even see. I'm like
Yeah,
reactionary.
Lord.
Off the subject, though, you realize that if in the state of Oklahoma, if you take a bite out of somebody else's hamburger, you can be arrested.
That
Really?
should be
Yeah,
the law
it's-
everywhere.
It should be a law everywhere. That was my kind of point to leading in on that. It's strange all the different laws that different states carry.
People get a lot more pissed off when your beer's a near beer, I guess.
Yes.
Headache beer is what I like to call it. I did a live show out there one time, and in the contract, because the guy was short on money, we negotiated travel expenses and a case of beer, and I specifically put in the contract it was in Oklahoma City, it could not be Oklahoma beer. It had to be Arkansas or Texas beer.
Yeah, the percentage is so low.
It's super low. It gives you a headache, man. Makes you real tired, and that's about it.
Might as well be drinking Dasani.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, all right, so have y'all ever heard of LaCroix? It's the sparkling water.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've got their logo if you want me to put it up. Bobo's a big fan of that drink.
Throw it up there.
So
Give him a little free pub.
There was a deal on Facebook today, and I thought it was hilarious. It was people coming up for slogans for LaCroix. If you've never seen it, it's basically the basic white chick drink. It's just flavored.
Hence Bobo's fascination.
Yes, it's flavored soda water.
I'm trying to find it. There it is.
Yeah, see? Looks like it's on my shirt. I'm sponsored by it. So here was some of
The
the
scene's blue, so I had to find somewhere to put it.
right? So here's some of the slogans that different people had tweeted about it. It's pretty neat. LaCroix is like drinking Sprite with a condom. It tastes like the only soft drink that allow a dystopian future with no one's allowed to have emotions. Fantastic.
These are some deep thinkers right here.
Right? Hold on, I got some more. LaCroix tastes like if you were drinking carbonated water and somebody screamed out the name of Pacific fruit in the other room.
That's the truth, man. You think you're about to taste it, and you just never do.
LaCroix tastes like when your actual drink is still buffering.
That's good. I like that one.
Little
tech joke.
Little tech. Oh, my bad.
Sorry, man. I cut you off.
That is really your comment to make.
LaCroix is the kale beverage of the world.
Have you had the kale Caesar at the Grand Marlin?
No,
It's awesome, right? You know what? I love you coming to the show because you interact with us.
I don't ever have the kale Caesar
That's the
there.
first thing she said. She's just been here.
They have the wedge. They have the wedge Caesar at Grand Marlin, so there's no point in ever getting kale anything.
They have a wedge Caesar.
Or not wedge Caesar, wedge
Blue
stout.
cheese wedge. Yeah, the wedge is. But their kale Caesar.
The only time kale should be on a plate is when it's being used as a garnish.
I hate garnish on my meals.
Well, you like kale, so just eat it.
It doesn't have Caesar on it, ass.
However, I do the juice reboots. You know, a lot of people think it's rubbish, whatever, but I do the Mean Green, which is primarily kale. It's really good for you. It's a superfood.
Right?
You know what else is a superfood?
Avocado.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Almond butter.
They're super to me.
What'd you just say?
Cool Ranch Doritos, man. They're super to me.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
I wish people could see. I don't know genetically how I'm alive, but you should see my diet.
I remember the first time I had blue cheese fries at Dave & Buster's. Oh, my God.
I believe you can
Blue cheese on
anything.
fries? Oh, it was awesome.
I'm a huge.
Has anybody had
blue
wings
cheese fan.
tonight? Other than you guys on the corner here.
Yeah,
Just
that's why nobody's talking.
killed about
Ron's
80
not
of 'em.
talking. That means there's wings in his face.
Ron has thrown his hand up 2 or 3 times to answer questions with his fingers. Roll Tide. Give me some more fascinating facts.
Well, it wasn't going to be so much fascinating facts, but I did want to roll into the NFL because we're not going to have we did like
Oh, you do.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about this offseason right now. The draft's not up, but there's some Nick Foles talk already starting. They don't know that Carson Wentz is going to be ready week 1.
Really?
Yes. They're
Really?
not- yes. How crazy is that? So
What, are they going to franchise him?
no. But here's the deal. So if you let Foles start week 1 and he wins, you're coming off a Super Bowl and he wins, do you let him start week 2? You kind of have to. What if he wins week 2? Then what kind of predicament do you get in?
What's Wentz's contract situation right now?
Oh, he's still under his rookie contract.
What
So-
is that? That's 4 years now, right?
Yes.
And Foles is going to have to get off-season money, correct?
Correct.
I mean, he's a free agent, correct?
Correct.
And so have we decided, have they decided, I mean, they haven't called me yet, but,
I don't know. Actually, I didn't look at Foles' contract. He may have one left.
ooh, that would be horrible for him.
It
I
would-
think he's getting all the money next year, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they hold
Well,
on to
to be-
him, that's a shame.
Yes, I agree. I think they need to let him go. They need to,
Pick up like a Josh
but you know
McCown
what?
or
But they're not going to be,
you could pick up
they're going to be selfish about it. They're not going to think about him at all. Like you were talking about today, trusting a team doctor. Was that you that was talking? Oh, it was Tony. But trusting, I wouldn't, because of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Is it because you saying I wouldn't trust the team doctor? They have the team's best interests in mind. Team's just going to have their best interests in mind, not Foles' future or whatever. And just they would. I swear they would do it just for that one game.
Absolutely. But it just puts him in a pickle, man. Like you would hate to see Foles come in and win 2 games and Carson Wentz come back, just off rehab and lose a couple games, and next thing you know, you're in a pickle.
No, it's not like the Philly fans will turn on him.
Now, right?
I would just, if I was him, the
You know
first
that's what
time
it would
I
be.
dropped back to pass, I would just pitch it to the defensive end for a pick 6. I'll take that, bitch. That was a light R comment.
All right, so moving
Derek,
on, staying with
what's
the NFL, Vinatieri just signed to play his 23rd season with the Colts.
That is crazy.
That is nuts.
Has anybody been? Is there a better kicker historically?
I don't think so, and he's only 59 points away from Morton Anderson all time, and he's averaged that over his last 4 years. So there's a good chance this year, if they can get any kind of momentum, that
I wish we had a picture of Morton Anderson's poster he did when he was with the Saints. And have you ever seen it?
no.
It's like he's got on. So back then, it was short. Gym shorts were short, like runner's shorts. All
Like
of
what
them.
I wear.
No, shorter. And
You're talking about 80s,
maybe 70s.
80s exercise gear.
Yeah, and he's got his leg up in those shorts and his pads on, and he's got those shorts on. I swear they're like gold.
It looks like the
gold.
women's football league type.
Right,
Yeah.
they have really weird seam
Yeah,
patterns.
it's bad, man. It's bad. He
Usually a shiny material is used.
had a hard time living that one down. But yeah, that's Vinatieri's great, and Gostkowski. I mean, Vinatieri was incredible with New England.
Oh yeah, he's
And-
been good with the Colts too. So he hasn't really had any bad seasons.
Never.
And the only 2 really important kicks he's missed the last couple of years were in blizzards. So it's not like he's fallen off a whole lot. Kickers
Has Indianapolis had an important kick the last 2 years?
No.
Is
Andrew Luck,
Is
man.
Luck going to be back?
I don't know. He ruled out today that he's not going to have his second shoulder surgery, so he's going to wing it this year. But, man, that's kind of scary. Dude, what if stuff goes bad this year, man? That's kind of career-type stuff you're talking about. So I don't
You
know.
could get RG3 to back him up.
Before you guys
Right.
move on too far, back to kickers, and maybe you guys covered this. I don't remember for sure, but
Sebastian?
the Raiders finally moved on from the Polish leg, man.
I think they moved on from him for contract reasons. I think they do bring him back.
Well, no, I honestly don't think they will, because the guy they brought in, and I'm all of a sudden brain farting on his name. It'll come to me.
Big fan. Kenny's big fan of the Raiders.
It'll come to me and well, it was one season with a guy, but
Janikowski.
he actually did a good job. But I mean, Janikowski is an institution out there, man.
That is true. That is true.
The all-time scorer. I mean, that's common for kickers to be that, but
I've got a great
For Oakland?
I got a great story
Yeah.
about partying with Janikowski.
it's the only place he's ever been, man.
I got a great story about partying with Janikowski across the street at the dock.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Go ahead and leave the rape out of it. And then,
Jack Paris is bartending and Jason Daniels, and we all walked in there. I was with Patrick Dyson, that was the receiver for the Pensacola Barracudas, and he was best friends with Jano.
Barracuda.
And so we walked in, and Jano told the GM, which I believe at the time was still Jack's dad, at
Really?
the dock, he goes, shut the doors. Don't let anybody else in. Bars on me.
Boom.
Yeah, and that was back before everybody had cell phones, too. Like, you had people that had them, but not everybody had them. So it wasn't like where it was somebody put out on Facebook that Janikowski was at the dock or whatever. But, man, that guy likes to party. It was crazy.
I'll bet it was. Well, listen, I mean, we could keep BSing all night long, but let's take a little break here, and then we're running about 5 minutes behind, I want to say. So we'll take about a 5-minute break right here, and then we'll come back with Brandon Dean, Mike Johnson, and Nate Dennis and talk a little – what, Kenny?
No. Keep going. Let's roll into the break. I'll tell you when we get there.
And talk a little NASCAR and about their trip to hey, Nate, where's your phone? Talk about their trip to Daytona last weekend. All right. We'll be right back on Play Harder Radio.
Play Harder Radio is sponsored by Rocky's Termite and Pest Control, a family tradition since 1962. Rocky's Termite and Pest Control is family owned and operated and serves the Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa counties. Give them a call today, 850-380-5408. Can't get enough of the sports and entertainment talk? Tune in to the Underground Pub Show, Wednesdays at 8:45 right here at the Bippy K Multiverse Network. Getting sick of hearing my voice yet? I know you are. You're watching Play Harder Radio, part of the Bippy K Multiverse Network.
All right, welcome back. I gave it to him. I gave it to him. We're talking about my outstanding bet in Vegas from last weekend, 40-1. Wow. I only bet a dime, so came out pretty good.
I bet you did.
I'm not going to work for the next 3 days because of it. Are you picking your butt? Oh, you had a hand in your pocket. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
All right. So,
Yeah, when the show's
who'd you go
over,
with?
we'll talk, all right?
Who was your driver, Chad?
Chase Elliott.
Oh, okay.
But me and Faja had talked that before the race. It's even last Thursday that Austin Dillon was like the pick.
I called that
if you were going to
action.
call, we called it a value bet, is what we called it.
Well, yeah, money. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you're going to bet money, I mean, that was the one that was going to make the most.
We'll talk about that when we get Mike and Dean on.
Sounds like they're on.
They are?
Nope.
No, they're on the line and ready to ride. You let me know when you're ready to have them, and we'll turn them over.
Let's knock it out.
Why don't we just get with it? Diggity diggity. Is that what Waltrip says?
Boogity
Roll
boogity.
Tide.
Boogity boogity. That's what I
Dilly
said.
dilly.
There they are.
Roll Tide.
Oh, who's
Roll
this?
Tide.
What's
This
going
is
on,
Mike.
Dean?
Right here. I know Dean's on the line too. Yeah, this is Dean right here.
What's up, boys? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I just still trying to shake it off from Daytona, but I got to tell you boys that this weekend right here is a home game for me. So I had to shake it off quickly in Daytona, and you boys know I live in Atlanta, so she's down the street. All the haulers are parked tonight and getting ready to hit the track at some point here in the next 24 hours. So this is everybody down there. They got to go back to their little homes and their little wives and be all good and get all sober and drink coconut water and get an IV. But I'm already back after it. It's National Margarita Day. The race is this weekend, so I'm already back on the horse holding up the torch for all y'all boys.
Yeah, I was wondering about that today. I was thinking about that being a home, home game for you guys, for you. Somebody you like is the favorite, I believe.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. The Toyotas, the way they cruised last year, I mean, it wasn't just Martin Truex, Kyle Busch, a couple of the Toyotas. Kyle Larson's another one that also crushed a mile and a half. I mean, when you look at what they were able to do last year, those three, in my opinion, on the mile and a half, got to be the favorite. I'm just not sure right now that, the way Truex was running Daytona, I don't know if they have the speed. It might be a deal where they have to find the speed or the Chevys and the Fords have scooted up to them. But I am excited that they're back to the mile and a half. I think this is more realistic racing than the big super speedways. So I'm excited to get down there and check out the the track this weekend. This will be my 4th time at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, Mike, I'm going to stop you right there on this situation here. I don't believe that a Ford has won in Atlanta since 2013, and your boy on the M&M's car. 14 was a Chevy, 15 Chevy, 16 Chevy, 17 Ford. So I'm not sure where we're getting off on this Atlanta thing being a Toyota dominant track.
I'm talking about the mile and a half, Dean, and I think you'd be lying.
I'm talking about Atlanta. That's a totally different track.
You want to talk about the mile and a half for the last damn 3 years closed and wipe the slate with everybody.
This ain't a typical mile and a half track here. This thing ain't been repaved in over 25 years.
Well, listen,
and,
that's why Brad Keselowski tried to say Toyota was cheating last year after they let the mile and a half track at Kentucky because Martin Truex beat them by about 4 laps, every single one of them.
Who led the most laps in Atlanta last year? None other than Kevin Harvick can afford.
Well, it damn sure wasn't Chase Elliott, so I guess I'll have to worry about your boy coming and winning this thing, do we?
Touche.
Damn. Well, way to get this segment started. Like I've said in the past, I kind of quit watching NASCAR. You know, after about 07, 08, but I've picked it up almost instantly. And my driver was Elliott, but me and Faja, you know, last week said that Austin Dillon was the value bet at 44-1. So, what did you guys think? Did outside of your obvious favorite driver, who you always rep, did you see Dillon coming in and doing what he did?
Well, you know, I got to start out by saying I'm sure that Austin Dillon got a little lucky. I mean, I'm not trying to call the guy unlucky, but he's won back-to-back. You know, he's won 2 races at Daytona, and he's led 2 laps in those 2 races. So that tells me about how he winds up at Daytona. But, you know, I was impressed with a couple of drivers. I was impressed with Blaney. I was impressed with Bubba Wallace. I was impressed with Denny Hamlin. So, you know, there's a couple of drivers out there that popped up in my eyes. But like I said, I think the real season gets started when you hit this mile and a half track in Atlanta. And I know that, you know, this is Chase Elliott's hometown track. He's a big Georgia fan. He's a big, you know, Braves fan and all the such. So it'll be interesting to see what he does this week. But I got to think that guys like Denny Hamlin and Bubba and even Ryan Blaney are feeling good after last week.
The guy that's racing right now, Blaney, what is his relation?
Yeah, I mean, I think that.
What is the relation to Dave Blaney?
Go ahead.
What is the relation to the Blaney that's driving out of Dave Blaney?
That's you, Dean. I have no idea.
The only reason I ask
that I'm not sure of. I believe his dad did race.
The great story I have is the last time I was at Talladega, I took home a souvenir. Kenny, you have the picture?
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah, it'll pop up. His dad drove for Jasper Motorsports in the number 77 car, and since the statute of limitations, I think, is gone, we can pop the picture up. There we go. That was at Waffle House outside of Talladega.
It's not up just yet.
All right, here we go.
Are you guys watching?
There it is.
Bam. That's cute, man. I look good in
I'm
my.
not watching right now.
I'm not watching now.
Yeah, they can't see it.
Gotcha.
Tell them. Explain it.
Yeah, we had. I was with some guys from Penske, man, and they let us into the garage. And I'm not a thief by any means, but we tried to.
Except when I am.
We had a few too many beers after Talladega in 04, and ended up getting into the garage and trying to start the car. And when security came, we everybody panicked except for me. And I ended up woke up the next morning, and the Dave Blaney's tarp was in our van, off of his car. His only car in the garage still.
Oh yeah, that's a great story. Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, my wife just come in here and brought me, showed me the Facebook Live feed here, and that's a pretty sweet picture right there.
Yeah, that was at Waffle House. That was my
NASCAR.
That was my Mazda Millennium at Waffle House at Talladega the next morning. So.
Stephanie said, Tabitha? Stephanie said, hi, Tabitha.
Yeah. Yep, Tabitha said, tell everybody hello. She's enjoying listening to this segment.
What were some of your favorite moments of this past Daytona, just being there
the last
front
lap?
and center, besides the obvious the finish?
Yeah, I got a couple, and I'll go first. I think that I'm going to lead off, first of all, with the finish of the Busch race on Saturday. It was the closest ever, history in the finish of Xfinity cars. It was .00002. I think it was 2 inches they were separated by. That was number one for me. Number two was Thunderbird flyover. I mean, that Thunderbird flyover was something nasty. I love the flyovers. I used to be in Pensacola, loving the Blue Angels. And you know what? Number 3 actually for me was the finish between Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin. Kind of banging back and forth, kind of rubbing tires, rubbing sides. That's just, and I'll even throw in Austin Dillon on Eric Almirola right there in the end. I love seeing people bumping and racing for it, especially at Daytona. I thought that was awesome.
I got a few special memories. My tie. I know I'm not a Austin Dillon fan necessarily, but I am a 3-car fan, and my ties to that 3-car. Seeing that thing come across there 20 years after Senior won it was pretty special. We were sitting right there, about 15 rows strong, and doing that 3 burnout, and that was pretty sweet. And then, probably one of the coolest things I've ever done was me and Nate running up there to the gas station and meeting Andy Houston, his Austin Dillon's head spotter, and then the chief engineer for Richard Childress Racing, and they actually called us over to the car and wanted to talk to us and talk about how the 3 gave them hell that night, and that was pretty sweet. And also just seeing the flyover, like Mike said, and seeing how patriotic NASCAR fans are. Everybody standing hand over their heart at attention. It's just kind of reminds you of what this thing's all about.
I gotta add one too. Hopefully Dean doesn't mind if I popped into that. I gotta add one that actually one of my buddies that was there with us, buddy Joe that plays for the Bucks. I actually asked him to officiate my wedding next year. So that was a highlight for me, just down there. I asked my dad to be my best man as well. So that was a personal high for me, getting to talk to everybody and everybody down there experiencing that moment. That's what that trip's always been about, to be honest with you.
Well, real quick, and I'll let Nate chime in, but I just wanted to ask one question, and Nate can chime in on this. Like, with all the negativity in the NFL as far as the anthem and stuff goes, it's obviously 180 as far as the atmosphere goes on a NASCAR track. What was the feeling during the Daytona 500 for the national anthem? Was it crazy?
Well, I can chime in on that right now. I can tell you this.
Yeah,
Go,
Mike. I'm gonna take a hold here. Sitting up there in the stands and looking down and seeing all of the crews, all of the people that were there, everything from pit road to the racers, and watching them actually bring flags out, not just the flags that were sitting out there in the stadium that we were all looking at. They brought flags out themselves. The crews, just unbelievable. I mean, that right there just tells you leaps and bounds of where we're at right there. With that being said, whenever you look back on what happened and what we witnessed and what we were there for, there's a lot of things that you can look back on. And these guys, they put their lives on the line when they get in those cars. And,
absolutely.
One thing that just sticks out to me is they always bring a guy in and they bless these races. And I tell you, that's one thing you don't see anywhere. You don't see that in any sport that we attend. And I tell you, it was quite amazing watching what happened, and when those Thunderbirds flew across, and you thought that they were going to do one flyover, but they didn't. They came back, and they went up through the middle of the infield, and they did one of those moves where
those bursts.
I mean, I tell you, it wasn't one flyover; it was 2. Awesome. And it was bone chilling.
And I tell you what, we got to see flyovers the whole weekend over there at Browns, staying at our campground. Those Thunderbirds started practicing on Friday morning, and they practiced about 4 hours a day, Friday and Saturday. And so we got to see those guys just doing all kind of maneuvers over us. It was kind of like watching the Blue Angels down there in Pensacola.
There we go.
Just constantly doing all these different maneuvers, and they're right over our rig. And it was pretty fulfilling feeling sitting there on the Tendon Grill and watching those Thunderbirds fly right over your head.
I know the feeling, man. I wasn't even there, and I'm getting goosebumps every time you say the Thunderbirds. And to talk about the national anthem, I get I get a little loose on the national anthem every time. And I just don't understand anybody that doesn't love it the way I love it.
160,000 of your closest friends.
How was
sitting
that
there
reaction?
Shoulder to shoulder.
Right? How was that reaction when they came over? The crowd roar.
Oh, it was unreal.
Go
But
ahead.
the thing about it is it's the same way every year. It's
Yeah.
not. It wasn't that this thing here was just some anomaly. It's the same reaction every year. Every race I've ever been to. That's that's the way that NASCAR fans do it, and that's the way that NASCAR has always done it, and that's the way they'll always do it from this point forward. And to wake up on whatever it was Monday morning, I suppose we're headed back home here, seeing something about the national anthem rendition at the NBA All-Star game compared to what we
Oh, my
witnessed
Lord.
live. It makes you proud to have been in Daytona, I guarantee you.
I have to say,
100%.
I have to say, I missed the NBA rendition.
It was brutal.
I didn't watch it. I heard about it.
Gotcha. Well, real quick, I've got a couple questions for the Atlanta race. What's the deal with it's not necessarily like a driver or car shortage, but why is the field so small this week? And it wasn't really a full field last week, if I'm right. Is there a reason behind that, or is it a sponsorship issue, or what's going on there?
Well, I think what you have is you have these races like Atlanta where the payout from the track and from NASCAR is just not worth coming and driving. And before, like 2 or 3 years ago, you used to have the ability to, hey, I'm going to start the race, and then I'm going to come park my car in the garage at starting park.
Get a paycheck.
And NASCAR did away with that about 2 years ago. So there's really nothing worth it for these cars to come out on the track knowing they're going to run 36, 37, 38. There's nothing really makes it worth coming for them anymore. And so they say, you know what, we're not going to enter in the race. We don't own a charter. We don't own NASCAR or anything, and payout's not big enough for us. So this is the end result. But you know what? I don't see it as a minus. I see it as a plus. You don't have to worry about lap traffic. You don't have to worry about some driver that isn't very good wrecking your driver. So
Yeah.
I'd rather it be a smaller field, and I'll let Dean obviously chime in on what he wants to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I would much rather see, if they're only going to field 34 cars as opposed to 40 or 43 like they used to do, several years ago. I'd rather see those 30, 34 cars that are competitive and that are out there trying to win the race rather than just turn laps and try to, finish in the bottom 5, and they're still going to go home and make a paycheck, but yet they're out there every week just turning laps and finishing 10 laps down every week. I'm fine with that. I don't think there's any room for people out there just turning laps just to turn them to try to earn a paycheck that is subpar. I mean, this is the elite series. It's like sending somebody out there who doesn't know how to play football and putting them out there on an NFL team,
Yeah,
something
Dean,
like that.
I was going to say, Dean, it's almost like the team from your local gymnasium being like, hey, we're going to go out to this NBA game this weekend and play them so we can make about $200,000. Like, that's about what it is what some of these teams put together. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy that, it's listed 36. I think that's a good square numbers. There's 36 charters in NASCAR, so there's 36 decent cars in the field. So I think the driver pool is as good as it's ever been in those 36. And I hope they continue to field that number. However many can be competitive, that's how many I want to be out there.
Nate, what do you have to say?
Well, this is exactly why we are not going to see the number 7 this year. Obviously, she is exactly 100% why we're not going to see her. They're not going to field it. They're not going to waste the money.
Gone.
She gone.
He gone.
Cashman,
Jeffrey's next.
gotcha. Hey, real quick, while we're
That was
on,
my number one highlight out of the weekend. Let me rephrase that.
has there been an anomaly on one of those cars that doesn't have a charter where they came and won a race, or has it always just been filler cars? Has there ever been a guy that was, like 43rd or 42nd where they've come and actually, where the team don't have the type of money and they've come through and either gotten first or second? Has it happened very often, or?
Well, I think anybody that's been that close, I think you're talking about Martin Truex and Furniture Row. I mean, they're a single-car team. They come out of Denver, Colorado. They enter their car, and then they hitch on Joe Gibbs. And they hitch on the TRD, the Toyotas. And, they found their way in the victory lane quite a bit. I think these other teams just aren't, they're not getting the good engines. They're not paying the extra money to get, the good engine builders and the good frames and put money into their, racing development. So you don't see that as much anymore. I think Martin Truex is probably the last one you see. I think it's kind of like the NBA where you have these super teams and teams like Hendrick doling out the money to do whatever they got to do, and so those single teams don't stand much of a chance anymore.
Yeah, it's all changed now, the landscape. I mean, you take Truex and that sort of thing, and something that was pretty crazy last year was the Furniture Row crew with Eric Jones. When his crew, Eric Jones' crew, got into it with, I believe it was Logano or Hamler, somebody over at JGR, and actually Joe Gibbs suspended Eric Jones' crew, even though Eric Jones is a Furniture Row racing driver, because JGR supplied all of his crew members. So now with all the alliances and everything like that, it's even though it seems like a small team, it's really not, because you're aligned with all of the major players.
Gotcha. Hey, moving on. I was wanting to, while we're talking, and before I forget, I was wanting to talk about the Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin kind of feud. They traded some tire, they traded some paint, and then Denny had come under scrutiny for mentioning that 70% of the drivers were on Adderall, and Bubba Wallace kind of focused on that too. So, kind of, what are your thoughts? What is this building a rivalry? Is this just a little BS, or what's going on?
Well, I think Denny Hamlin's got a rivalry with a lot of guys, and I think that's the Denny Hamlin problem. Now, I think Denny went on trying to be funny on Barstool Radio and trying to be cute and saying whatever he had to say, and kind of trying to get a chuckle out of everybody and get a rise at everybody on Barstool. I mean, you know how Barstool is. Well, Bubba decided to run his mouth about it and make a cute comment about Denny, having to ride into him after cutting a tire down. And I don't like Denny Hamlin, but I think Denny Hamlin was in the right situation. But I got to tell you, I kind of like Bubba not backing down. I mean, it is what it is at this point. There's going to be two big names moving forward, and Denny's going to have to learn to live with it. Denny thinks Denny's a big deal, and Denny ain't really done anything in quite some time now. So Denny needs to probably pipe down a little bit.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Denny Hamlin's right up there with Kyle Busch for me.
Yes.
The only thing he's ever done is beat Martin Truex Jr. to the line for 500 2 years ago. Other than that, I don't have any use for Denny Hamlin. I think that he needs to, if he wants to try to dish it out, then he needs to accept responsibility for what he said. And if he can't sit there and handle little words, they might need to throw him up there on pit road and see who wins.
I agree. I 100% agree. I'll tell you one thing. I've never seen emotion come out of a driver that I saw out of Bubba and his post-race conference. That right there, I'd be the first one to tell you I am not a Bubba Wallace fan, have no use for him in NASCAR. But after watching that, I'll tell you, that kid's got a little passion. And I hadn't talked to Dean or Mike about this, but elaborate, guys. I don't know what to say.
No, man, I completely agree. Actually, I gained a little bit of respect for Bubba. I think he's got one of those personalities that, man, he probably needs to take a little bit of medicine. He needs to calm down. He needs to understand that, man, he didn't want anything, not even in Xfinity, not even in so this kind of everything's being served up to him. But at the same time, I respect him standing up for what he's doing. I think he drove a heck of a race the other day, but I got news for him. That Richard Petty Racing, that 43, they're getting ready to hit this mile-and-a-half circuit, and we're about to find out what Bubba's really about. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year, man, he's not feeling as hot as he is right now. He's kind of, he's boasting a little bit. He's real proud of himself. He should be. But, I want to see where he's at like 10 weeks from now, because I don't know if we'll see much of Bubba. If we do, then, he'll have all my praise for sure.
My whole thing with that is respect is earned and it's not given. And my thing with that is, like you just said, Mike, he really hadn't earned a strike yet. And, I respect the fact that if, Denny's going to get up in his face, he's going to call him out. But, the way it really played out is Bubba got up there in the media interview and called Denny out. And, Bubba is a rookie. And at the same time, he needs to understand that he is a rookie. And, Denny has been on the circuit a long time, whether we like him or not. And I think that you might need to pump the brakes a little bit on that, because at the end of the day, he is in a Petty Enterprises car. I don't think they've won a race in about 15 years.
Go ahead, Nate.
Well, I can tell you one thing. At least he wasn't on Periscope getting the plane cranked up. He did an interview this week. A lot to be said for other drivers.
So, hey, real quick on the Bubba Wallace thing.
There's a lot of periscoping going on over at Korea right now.
On the Bubba Wallace thing, man, he is a rookie, and we saw, and I don't really know how to bring this in the proper way, but you saw in '97 when Tiger Woods came in, and it was all about his color and his spunk and his moxie and what he brings to the table. Is there a chance that Bubba Wallace has that same opportunity to help bring a different viewership to NASCAR, or is his moxie? Because Tiger Woods was kind of the nice guy, where Bubba doesn't have a lot of praise, even through with his drivers or a fan base. Is that going to hurt him, or is it going to hurt the sport, or is it going to help the sport? Any thoughts?
We saw it this weekend.
Well, here's the bottom line, Nate. Let me take over this one for a minute because I got a few different points here about this whole Bubba Wallace saga. First of all, I mean, he finished in second, and so, hey, you know what? He's going to get some of the headlines. Finished second in Daytona 500. Danica did that. I mean, when Danica won the pole 5 or 6 years ago, all the talk was about Danica. And guess what? You didn't hear about Danica anymore after a while because
who's he?
As a driver. So I think either way, I think, you know what? Either Bubba's going to go away into obscurity, or he's going to earn my respect. And I'm good with it either way. I'm not one of these people that's worried about, NASCAR, how many people are watching NASCAR. That ain't my problem. No matter what happens, when I wake up in 10 years, there's going to be cars racing around the track, and I'll find it. I ain't worried about how many damn people are turning on NBC Sports Network. So, it is what it is about Bubba. If he brings new viewers, he does, but he's going to have to do it through winning at some point. And I don't know if he's got that in him this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's really fair right now to compare him to Tiger Woods. What Tiger did for golf. Tiger's won a bunch of majors, and Bubba finished runner-up, which is just the first.
Well, no, I wasn't.
500. So
I wasn't instantly comparing them.
He'll win about 50 races, and then we'll start talking about it.
Yeah, I wasn't instantly comparing them. I'm saying in '97, '96, right when basically Tiger said "Hello, world." You know what I mean? The game instantly changed, and you haven't seen a guy that looks like this on NASCAR's level at that level finish second. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, there is going to be I think there will be some politics. I think there will be some sponsorships that, will come because of this. But I just don't like his moxie, man. I think he being who he is, especially with his color, dude, could if he was cool as shit, man, could change the landscape of NASCAR. Not that it needs it, but to where it brings its audience.
Could make a positive effect.
Yeah, make a positive impact instead of the negative one.
It's definitely negative.
Negative.
It seems to be a.
Well, I'll go ahead and jump back into this whole conversation here. The problem I have with it is this. The problem I'm going to have with it is when NASCAR starts pushing Bubba to be popular. You know who Bubba's sponsor is this weekend in Atlanta? NASCAR Driving Experience. They want Bubba to have this money. They want Bubba to be front and center in the sport. I think that's where other drivers, including Kyle Busch, some of the older heads, that's where they get irritated. So,
yep.
I'm with you.
I'm all for it. I'm not sitting here saying I hope he sucks. But he's going to have to earn it in my eyes before I even give him 2 looks. I'm going to treat him just like I did Eric Jones last year.
I love it.
You know what? If you suck, you suck. I'm going to tell you suck. But if you're good, then you're a good driver.
Yeah, I'm gonna treat Bubba just like I would any other driver. If based off how he does post race interviews, how he races, how he acts during the week, he's either going to be a Kyle Busch or Chase Elliott to me. I really don't care what the hell he looks like. As long as he's a good guy or a bad guy, or he races good or he races bad, that's how I'm going to feel about him. And I think anybody else that tries to push the other agenda is doing a disservice to the sport, in my opinion.
I think he's local, pretty much.
Always doing that always doing that, pushing always pushing the other aspect is always negative to the sport. I think, no matter which sport it is. It's either you can drive. In this instance,
I agree with you 100%.
Either you can drive or you can't drive.
Well, let's run into this week's race. Who are our picks? We'll go ahead and start. I'll get James's pick. We'll run into Nate, and then we'll go directly to you guys.
I want to see what I got wrong and I printed out some Atlanta results from the last, the history and everything. And Nate's telling me that Martin Truex Jr. won the last 2 years. Is that right? Or
No.
what I printed out shows Keselowski and
No, that's wrong.
Jimmy Johnson won the 2 years before that. And so obviously I'm going to take my guy, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
All right, so Faja's going to pick.
Are you fucking with me?
Yeah.
Fucking what a dick. What a dick.
That's awesome. So Faja's going to take Jimmy Johnson. Nate, who do you got?
Boy, I tell you what, this is a tough one right here for me. Can I pass for 1 second?
You can pass.
Yeah, we'll come back to you.
We'll go to me. I took Chase Elliott as a driver, as a fan, and I actually picked him last week, but I really think I like him in that Chevrolet car in Atlanta this week. I'm not going to pick him every week, but I was going to kind of go with Truex, and then the Chevrolet Ford talk during our little interview with you guys has kind of changed my mind, and I'm gonna bump it up and go with Chase Elliott. Who do you guys like? Dan, go ahead.
I'm going with Nate's preparation.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Go for it.
Did we lose you guys?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna jump in right now and go ahead and give y'all my driver, and it's not something I'm gonna be proud of. Listen, I would love to think that I'm gonna show up at the track Sunday and I'm gonna be there, so Martin Truex is gonna win. I've been at a track when Martin Truex won last year in Kentucky, but I'm gonna tell you how this is gonna go. These early racers, these mile and a half, or these old heads that have been there, obviously in this situation, are usually good. I'm actually going with Kevin Harvick in the 4th car this weekend. I think he's going to be strong. I think he's going to do the things he needs to do. There's probably going to be a wreck somewhere after one of these stages get over, and I think Kevin Harvick finds his way through it, and I think he wins the race right there at the end.
Well, that's exactly who I was going to pick too, Mike. Kevin Harvick 5-1 odds to win the race. Him and Truex are matched with the same odds out of Vegas. And when you look back at over, I believe it was the last 2 or 3 years, Harvick's led almost 900 laps out of the last 3 races in the Atlanta race here, the Folds of Honor 500. And I just think that Harvick has had some bad luck the last 3 years in the waning laps of the race, but I think that this year is the year he's going to pull through. If not, the next 2 picks probably going to be Truex and Larson, but I believe Harvick's going to pull it through.
And Nate, we'll go back to you. Who we got?
I am absolutely here to just
Lappy.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I do not want to even say.
Say it.
And I hate to even.
You're gonna say
18.
I hate to even talk about this person on the air, but
Kyle Busch.
Are you taking Bubba Wallace?
no, I'm not going to take Bubba Wallace.
No, Kyle Busch.
He's taking Kyle Busch.
But I am going to take the 18. If you really want to know my honest opinion, and I hate to say that, but I mean,
All right.
let's be honest.
So the Kyle Busch. So my value bet for the week, since last week's value bet came through at 40-1. Wow. With 1 lap led, awesome.
Wow.
Is Kurt Busch at 50-1.
Cool.
Finished 7th last year.
Yeah.
50-1. Put a little something on it.
If you guys had asked who I thought was going to do really well this weekend, it would have been Kurt, because I think he's going to do real well, but I don't think he can finish it.
Well, good deal. All right, guys. Well, that kind of is going to wrap up our segment.
Awesome segment, you guys.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I'm looking forward to this to the next 34 weeks, 35 weeks of this deal. This is a lot of fun.
Well, good deal, man.
Yeah, we're going to bring it home. That's for sure.
Oh, we look forward to it every week. We can't wait. We get on the phone about 2 days in advance and start planning what we're going to talk about. And, there ain't nothing more American than talking a little NASCAR on Thursday night.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll tell you what. I can't tell you how you got me fired up talking about all the pre-race activities and the national anthem and the patriotism and the Thunderbirds and not 1 pass but 2 passes. So I'm fired up, man. It's going to be awesome.
I hope that
Roll
Mike.
Tide, guys.
Hey, Mike, you're going to be the one there this week that can bring it home for us and lead us next week and tell us what's going on down there.
Listen, there's a 3-way chance that I do a beer chug and send a text message. Martin Truex wins the race, I win the fantasy league, or both, and it's going to get nasty. So.
And just so you guys know, there's a few out in the bar here that said to let you guys know, Roll Tide.
It wasn't me.
Roll Tide.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
guys. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week. Woo! All right, let's go to a little break here,
We'll bring it in.
and then we'll come back and wrap it up. You ready to go? All right, let's talk. Let's talk.
We were going to take a break, but I've got enough to bring us in. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
No,
man.
that was. I love the.
My favorite is the Thunderbirds. I think I saw them when I was a kid when because I grew up right next to Eglin Air Force Base. The Thunderbirds are basically the Air Force version of the Blue Angels.
Correct. Thank you.
But I mean that's for people that don't know that. So but I remember seeing them vaguely when I was a kid. But dude, that stuff when you're in an event like that is unbelievable. It just adds to it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's jeez, the Thunderbirds. You know, the kind of the better thing about now. Listen, we love the blue. It's amazing how Pensacola loves the Blues.
Man, that one Corona Light got you.
And so
where the hell is
Pensacola? It's amazing how Pensacola loves the Blues. But the Thunderbirds and the Thunderbird colors, red, white, and blue, opening up
That's
that race
awesome.
and everything, pretty awesome.
What are they, F-14s?
Those are F-16s.
Yes, that's what I meant. Always
Correct.
get my numbers mixed up.
F-14 was Maverick.
Gotcha.
And Iceman.
Gotcha. Tomcats.
Tomcats.
Gotcha.
F-14 Tomcats. That's right.
Well, for a little, we always have filler material just in case we get into these moments, 10, 15 minutes left. I kind of wanted to talk about Mark Cuban. And I kind of was a Dallas Mavericks fan when they were winning. I like Dirk Nowitzki. I like Nash and all those guys. And I really like Cuban because I thought he was an innovative owner.
I wagered on the Mavericks against the Miami Heat and won.
Unbelievable.
But yes, go ahead. And I was go ahead and get on Cuban. I like Cuban, but there's some things about Cuban.
So
that,
Dr. J started a podcast, and so that's the reason it was brought up is because of how we kind of got started and all that stuff. But Dr. J's first podcast, he has Mark Cuban on. And Mark Cuban talks about tanking last year and how he told them to tank so he could get the draft pick for this year and how he told them to tank this year.
right.
He got fined $600K, and he knew he was going to get fined. But I don't like that at all.
I don't either. The tanking?
The tanking thing is crazy to me.
Telling them to tank?
Telling them to tank.
It would serve him right if he, played to about a 3/4 full arena next year.
Oh, dude, or
a half full arena the rest of this year.
What if you were a season ticket holder and somebody tanked for the team that you're paying all that money to every year? They tanked, and you paid all that money as a season ticket holder. I would tell you to kiss my ass, and I'd go buy season tickets to their rival. I'd be a Spurs
and let me
fan.
tell you something. After watching Cuban for the last, I want to say 18 months about now, in other avenues, in other arenas, the fact that he would have them tank like that doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, no. He's a businessman.
No, I'm not even talking about business. Talking about him in a third arena over the last 18 months or 2 years, leading up to.
He's a Hoosier.
Yeah, that too. But I think that's the mentality and the integrity of him. To be honest.
Gotcha.
All right. I don't think that he deserves. He deserves everything that you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
A whole new, 50,000 new Spurs fans.
100%.
Houston Rocket fans.
All right, so we get past that. I was watching ESPN today, which I seldom do anymore. It just happened to be on in front of me. And the talk was, is Tiger Woods back for good? and I couldn't.
I have a little bit on Tiger, so I'm glad you brought that
I
up.
couldn't understand what the hell are they talking about? Is he back for good? He hasn't been back since 2008. So in my mind, I didn't look at his score today or whatever. I was like, he must have shot 8 under today. And I get online and he shoots even.
I've got some stats right here for you.
Yeah, I get it, but he shoots even.
I know.
So how was your headline? Is Tiger Woods back for good?
Because they're desperate.
They're desperate.
Because of what you said in the NASCAR segment about how they used him for when he came on the scene in 97, 96, 97. Yep. It wasn't about him being a great golfer. You know?
Yeah.
And it was about the color of his skin, which I didn't appreciate either. But you know what? He started out today. He was 2 under 4 holes in.
Yeah. He got to 2 over and brought it.
And then
reeled it back in.
Did he get to 2 over?
Yeah. Then he reeled it back in.
No,
or maybe 1 over. Who cares?
Whatever.
He finished it even.
He finished it even, but he was 2 under, and 3 birdies, a bogey, and a double bogey.
Yeah.
Hit 7 out of 14 fairways, and that seems to be one of the problems since he's come back is that he can't consistently get it in the fairway. Now he's his own swing coach. And as you texted me last week during not last week during the tournament, what must have been Torrey Pines. It's so weird to see Tiger hitting TaylorMade equipment.
That is weird.
So, and that's a big deal, changing equipment. People, it's all good equipment, right?
Yeah, he was with
but it's different.
He was with Titleist for ever, and then, he got the big Nike deal, and then Nike quit making golf clubs.
Why isn't he back with Titleist? I guess just money.
Yeah, it's a money thing. TaylorMade's untouchable right now as far as equipment goes.
But, as far as being back, he's got to show me. I mean, he missed the cut by he was +6. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
Actually.
He didn't miss like a cut in 130-something events.
Was it Torrey Pines he missed the cut or last week?
I
don't remember.
Who cares?
Last week. But, it was like, he was right there on the cusp and then shot like 5 over in the back 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Shot 40 in the back 9, 4 over. So, I think he's got a little bit farther to go to be back. Pretty uninspiring field this week at the Honda Classic. I thought there was usually a better field, but, he's in it. Justin Thomas is in it, and Ricky and Sergio, and that's about it.
Yeah, there's no big
And,
names.
he doesn't even have top competition this week.
No, and he's 20th. So, yeah, is he back for good? No, not like we've all seen him before. Moving on, another story, man, I think is very interesting is the Bruce Pearl situation. So, Chuck Persons was his assistant coach who got fired and investigated by the FBI. Well, Bruce Pearl has got Auburn playing off the charts right now. And
right.
They, as of, last week, they were going to be the first number 2 seed. So basically ranked 5th going into the tournament. During the interview with Bruce Pearl, he wouldn't even answer anything. It's not like he's covering up stuff, but it's like he's basically just trying to wean it off and get through this season. And the question they kept asking him, are you going to be the coach of Auburn next year? And he goes, I don't know. I just want to finish out this year. And he goes, I don't want a court named after me. I don't want an arena named after me. But I want the doors to that basketball stadium to say the Pearly Gates, which I thought it was pretty cool. And I've always liked Bruce Pearl.
He's a charismatic guy.
And
I like Bruce Pearl.
And I don't know that he was ever a part of any of this. You know what I mean? But you're kind of a part of it.
Well, he had issues at Tennessee, right? That's why he left Tennessee.
I think Tennessee had issues at Tennessee, and he happened to be part of Tennessee. So it's not a that was disgusting. That
pointed out, ass.
That's
Jesus.
not it's just I can't. I've always liked him. I think he's a great motivator, great coach. I used to love when Pat Summitt was going through kind of her hard times.
Man, he was in her.
He would paint his body orange and show up to their games and root for them. He's a great crowd motivator and all that stuff for her cause and rooting on their team. So, anywho, it's cool, man. I like seeing him. I like seeing
a lot of deflecting.
Yeah. But he was deflecting in this interview, and so I'd hate to see him truly go down. Like you're going to see Pitino, and everybody's being investigated. They think up to 50 teams now.
Wow.
So
well, and Pitino.
Yep. Oh yeah.
is just deny.
Yeah, and they actually had an interview with him this week that because they vacated NCAA vacated their 2013 national title and all the wins from 11 to 15, and Pitino said it's unfair to the players, which I think is freaking crazy. Like that's almost like a sociopath. Does that make any sense?
Well, consider their two major coaches.
Yeah,
Petrino and Pitino.
Yeah, both have never
bastions of integrity.
Exactly, 100%. So, anyways, I really do. I love watching Bruce Pearl. I hope he comes out of this clean. I don't know that he does. I don't know if Chuck Persons is taking the rap for some of the stuff and some of the other guys, but
Chuck's not saying anything, which I find interesting and what do I want to say?
What's crazy?
Pleasing.
What's crazy is Auburn is this good, and two of their top players are out because of some of these indictments and implications. So how good could they be? How good could they be in the future?
They've lost two players because of the indictments.
Yes, earlier. So that's how good they could possibly be. So
I find it interesting, speaking of controversy and that type of thing, that Michigan State isn't under a lot more heat and Izzo isn't under a lot more heat.
Do you see Izzo crying during senior day this week?
No.
Yeah, three of his seniors, took the floor for the last time, and dude breaks down. So
yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
That's weird, man. It's almost like we cheated the system together feel, and hopefully don't get caught together.
Right?
I don't know. So
that's too funny.
Hey, one of our last trivia things, I didn't realize this, but in the Japanese language, the R's, they don't really like the R's. And so this is a fact. They don't call it Ronald McDonald. It's Donald McDonald. It's Donald McDonald. That's the name of the brand for their clown. Yeah. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes, man. You learn something new every day on this show that you've never.
You want to hear something else new in relation to Donald? What's Donald Duck's middle name?
What is it?
Fauntleroy. I just happen to know that.
Is that real?
It's real. Fauntleroy. Look it up. Stephanie's looking it up already. Shice, you're looking for him.
You know, in 2014, El Chapo got captured today.
What year?
2014. That seems like forever.
Man, it does. That's 4 years ago. Wait a minute.
I love the way that they in the Latin American countries, when they catch a criminal,
4
the way
years.
they parade them across the camera and stuff. That's my favorite part of that.
Yes, it's
man.
amazing. Well, interesting show.
Like the Middle East, where they just murder them in public.
I like that.
I mean, just as intriguing, but
no, I like it.
Yeah, I think
there
should
should
go
be
back
some
to
more of that here.
And,
ooh,
yeah,
stoning. That's brutal.
My dad thinks we should bring it back.
I think it would detour a lot of things.
Yeah.
Bring it back like it was an old school part of the American heritage to stone people.
Yes. What will be?
I'm going to go biblical on your ass. You're about to get some biblical action.
Well, Kenny, you're not going to be with us next week?
No, I'm going to have to take next week off, man.
Who do you have filling in?
Do you have anybody filling in?
Well,
we're going to be working on the show for next week. We'll see how everything goes.
Unfortunately, nobody can do what I do. It's one of those things.
That's how I feel. Well, let's go ahead and wrap
How
this.
much is it going to cost to get you to Collins to quit your job then? I will go 100 a show.
100 a show.
That's out of your pocket.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it, man.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it. Me and Chad will talk and see if we can bump that a little bit, 2 or 3%. And but we appreciate what you do.
Hey, it's going to happen from time to time until
with all of us, though.
Until PMVN becomes my full-time job, man. I have to work a 9 to 5, and sometimes that's going to cut into things, dude. It's just the way it is.
Not a problem, brother. Well, let's wrap this thing up, man. We had a good show.
It was a great show, man. Views were through the roof. I liked it.
What?
Yeah, good deal. Faja, you got anything else you want to add?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do have something I want to add. It's a perfect time to add this as well. The Gulf Breeze girls soccer team is playing in the state championship tomorrow down in DeLand. against Merritt Island.
All right.
So go Dolphins. Kick some Merritt Island ass.
Do the goal.
Well-
Do it again. Do it again. That was better the first time.
Yeah, it was good the first time. Voice got a little scratchy on the second
Hey, go Gulf Breeze Dolphins.
one. All right.
They will win. They will win. Take that to the bank.
Second one was throat cancer, Dolphin.
Yeah, throat cancer Dolphin.
Wow, that's
All right.
messed up. That's messed up. All right, guys, thank you. Appreciate you watching, tuning in, listening, showing up here at the Break Beach Bar out on Pensacola Beach. We'll see you next week on Play Harder Radio.
All right.